Okay, so we are going to do another mat class exercise with a Laban twist to it. Um, Mat and motion. I think at one point at Equinox I had a class called Mat and Motion. Uh, anyway, it never really took off. Not like the Pilates Bartenieff. Let me move this back. And there we go. So I know most of you already know, but but I don't know if Sol knows. I'm going to be performing in New York from the 14th to the 18th, I think, of September, and that will be at Theater for the New City in the Dream Up Festival. I think the show is called Splitting Your Sides or Splitting My Sides, and I'm dancing with a Scottish company. But also some of my friends who've danced with me before and some who haven't, who are amazing dancers, are also dancing in it. It's a music and dance-based, very spectacular theatrical thing. That's my PSA for myself. Inhale, open. September 14th through maybe 18th or 19th. It's a Wednesday through Sunday. Exhale, inhale. And each time, like, we're performing at different times. Like sometimes it's like at 6:30 or 6, and sometimes it's at 8, sometimes it's at 5. Exhale, drop it down. Relax your neck, relax your shoulders. The show is less than an hour, so not a huge commitment. Exhale. It's right next to Momofuku if you want to eat some noodles. Inhale, open. Exhale, drop it down. Not right next to, but very close. Inhale, open. Reach it out and up. Really stretch out and away. So we want to feel like our realm. I'm really wide this morning. I am taking up space. Up and reaching out. And let's just spiral for a minute in this wide position. Oh, you can bend your knees. You can straighten. If it hurts to be wide, go narrow. I don't know why I'm so spacious today or taking up space. But I do have a slight crick in my neck, and I'm going to see my chiropractor after this, which is just by chance. So, but I think it's from the way I slept last night. I could feel myself like in these weird head positions. Like, what am I doing? Okay, let's hit the four corners of the vertical plane. We're going to start on your left. It's actually my right. High left, high right, low left, low right. High left, big weight shift, high right. You can see Squeaky Deaky's ears at the bottom of the screen. High left, high right, low left, low right, high left, high right, low left, low right, high left, high right, low left, low right. Let's take it down. Bend your knees. You're going to arch and curl here. Stick out your butt, open your chest, wag your tail. Exhale, hollow and round. So I'm in this kind of forward position, reaching and opening, and then hollowing and curling. Let's do it with the bent knees as we arch, and then kind of straightening as we curl. Arch and open, hollow and curl. And let your shoulders do whatever they want to do. So don't feel like you really need to anchor them. Let them have some movement on your back. Arch and curl. And one more arch and curl. And I just have to show you the cutest cat in the world because he's so stinking cute. He is by far the cutest cat, except for the other ones that are just equally cute. That was a really smart idea. Now he's going to sit right there. You can have a big cat butt to look at in the corner of your screen. He's also super soft, and so is she. Like, they are beyond, they're so soft, it's unbelievable. All right, let me get over my cats. Let's do the horizontal plane. So I'm going to start with my left this time, so you'll start with your right. Right forward middle, left forward middle, right back middle, left back middle. Right forward middle, left forward middle, right back middle, left back middle. It's like you're in a big rectangular table, and the two heads of the table are at your sides. So you're making this big movement through the horizontal plane, reaching to the four corners. Good. And then let's do sagittal in a different way. So sagittal plane, we're just going to bend our knees, circle down. You can straighten as the arms come back, bend, and bring it back up. Look up. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Reach it out. Inhale, open. So we're cycling through the sagittal plane, the wheel plane. Opening. Sagittal plane is made up of mostly forward, backward, and some up, down. One more. Exhale. And you can feel the time element. Like if you let yourself swing, there's like a suspension where things slow down. In effort, we would call that sustained when it gets to the top and it starts to slow, and then it speeds up and goes down. So there's this element of time for us aligned with the sagittal dimension, forward and backward, right? And I might go forward slowly and come back quickly. That's the affinity. But I could also go forward very slowly, or sorry, very quickly, and then come back slowing down, right? As humans, if we spend a little bit more time listening to our bodies, do we want to move forward? Do we need to back off? I feel like we would be able to navigate the world in a more skillful manner. So thinking about that affinity of time with the sagittal dimension of moving forward, just try it for a second. Take one hand and reach forward, come back. Take the other hand, reach forward right in front of you. Take it back. Maybe very gentle, like you're not sure if you should go there, but you're going to just gently touch the space in front of you. So moving forward and then taking it back and feeling into your body, like, how does it feel to go forward? What's coming into your imagination about going forward? What part of your life might not be moving forward? Right? COVID has fucked up everyone's life in some way or another. So most people, not everyone, but I think there's a lack of capacity to go forward. And also, sometimes we aren't going back either. We're not backing off when we need to back off. So just feeling into that, am I ready to go forward? Am I ready to step back? Or I'm ready to exit this situation, just back up slowly. I never was here. I don't know. That happens to me sometimes when I walk into something. I'm like, oh, not mine, not mine. Gonna back out. Anyway, let's take it into a bent knees, forward fold, feet wide, shifting from side to side. Let your head, neck, and shoulders relax. Really feel the weight of your cranium dropping down. So no extra holding in the back of your neck. Most of the time when I do this with groups of people who haven't spent a lot of time with me, they're holding their head up. Let it go. Let go of that little bit of control of holding your head up, unless you've got vertigo or something like that, then by all means hold it up. Let your weight shift. Feel the movement through your spine. Head-tail connection. Weight shift. Sit bone heel connection as your butt is moving over one foot and then the other. And then come into center and slowly roll it up, coming all the way up to the top. Let's come a little narrower. Circle the shoulders. Feeling as if the shoulder movement is massaging your lungs and heart, right? Which it kind of is. We're moving the rib cage, lungs, and heart because we're moving our shoulders. And change direction. So I took this class with Dylan Newcomb, who is the founder of this movement form called Uzazu. And one thing that he brought up in the class, one of the forms was like, are you overactivated about something or are you underactivated about something? So noticing this could be in your daily life. Is there something that I'm really, and it's too much? Or is there something where I should be more engaged and I'm kind of like limp? So just noticing that as a way of being in the world. Like, are we moving forward way too fast? Hello, guess who's one of those people? Or are we like not moving forward because we can't engage in that, right? So just noticing, like, do you dive into that relationship way too quickly? Oops, I'm already practically married to someone. What happened? Yeah, I think that happens to a lot of people. So noticing within your own system, within your own body, within your own life, oh, wow, I'm really amped up about this. And that can be good or bad, but we just want to know what's happening, right? I think we haven't learned very well to listen to our nervous systems I did a whole meditation last night on the nervous system, which is on the YouTubes. It is called The Nervous System, Somatic Inquiry. But I think like it's something that if we start to notice, oh, if I'm underactivated, like what if I come into class and I kind of like, well, maybe you should do this, or why don't you try that? It could be a very boring class, or like, wait, where's Laura? Or if I come in like, now, do this, then I might be teaching you at the gym. Let's take it down to the floor. So just noticing for yourself in your life, and I'm talking about this as we're in exercise class, because when we're in movement, it's easier to notice things, right? Great time to take in learning when you're actually moving, especially if we're doing exercises that you don't really need to think about that much. You can feel like, am I working too hard? Am I barely working? Yeah, you can feel it in your relationships, right? Are there people where you're kind of around them and your whole nervous system gets a little depressed and drop down? I'm moving through myself here, so going through. Back of the hands towards each other. And are there people that you get around and you're just zing? Like maybe it's super exciting. Maybe it makes you anxious, right? Or are there situations that you can relate to with that? In the Laban work, we would probably call that like um, pre-efforts where we're not quite there in the underactivated. And I'm not really sure what the overactivated would be if we were to talk about that in Laban. Maybe that's a whole thing that could start to come in. Inhale, spiral, open it up. Exhale. Inhale, open it up. But I feel like it's a really nice thing to think about in how you're working with the world. And it's not to say that we should be in this neutral all the time. That would be incredibly boring. Although I do know people who are incredibly neutral all the time. And a lot of them are actually on SSRI inhibitors. So that is going to keep you neutral to a large extent, right? They're serotonin, what is it? They reduce uptake inhibitors, whatever, the levels of serotonin. But some of them aren't. Some of them are just kind of even flow. So that again relates to that time. There's no like or it's just even time. Let's come all the way down, knees dropping from side to side. And let's try and go as even as we can with this. So we're going to do this movement really with awareness, opening, 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 and then closing, 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 in such a way that if somebody were to look at us, they couldn't tell where the movement was initiating. It just looked like an even flow where things are shifting. It's just working so perfectly evenly. There is no shift in really energy pattern or tempo. We might talk about the tension flow if somebody's really, and the tension flow might be growing and shrinking. That might be one way that we would talk about people getting more activated or underactivated. So as you're slowing down and becoming aware of trying to move your legs with the same amount of effort in the English sense of as working each one as hard as the other one or as easily as the other one in the same time without changing, just notice what happens to your nervous system. Starts to slow down for me. I'm like, which is funny because I just drank a cup of coffee, as you can probably tell. And let's come into center, and we're going to do something a little different. Actually, I want to do this with weights. So if you have weights, I don't think I brought all my weights out today. I just have 3-pound weights. You could do lighter or heavier weights with this. It doesn't matter. We are going to take our weights in each hand. We're going to inhale. Let's just inhale up and down a few times. Let's take the arms up like you're pushing forward. So if we were to talk about this in terms of space, arms are forward in the sagittal plane, pelvis is going up and down, forward and backward. Then we're going to spiral. So spiral the arms so the palms are facing back and then spiral outward as you come down. Spiraling, letting that spiral move down through the arm into the rotator cuff, into the collarbones, allowing your scapula to move on your back. So you're not trying to stabilize it. we're going to go up and stay, and you're going to let your hands come down to the floor and push through, or your elbows to the floor and push through. If your weights are really light, let the hands come down. So we can do an elbow and then opening up, an elbow, pressing up, open up. If you don't have weights, that's totally fine. Grab some cans, a couple of bottles of water or whiskey or whatever you've got that is fairly even. Yeah, wine bottles. Let's work out with our wine bottles. So elbows wide, push through, open the arms, pecs and lats. Or just elbows if your weights are heavy. Or if you want to work a little bit more, you can just do the flies, opening and closing. And then we're going to come in, slowly lower down through your spine. Let's take one up and one down, and then change that. So and I'm going to have my palms facing down for right now. If your weight is kind of heavy, then you're just going to make this smaller, right? So going in a range of motion where you're not going to tear or anything or be too weird. If your weight is lighter, you can go for a bigger range of motion there. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale. We're going to change our hands so that they're facing each other. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Let's turn them to face up. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And then one where they're facing out. This is going to be weird. You might not have the same range of motion. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. And I have to say, I do a lot of arm work, and these 3-pound weights feel really like the right amount of weight for me. So if you don't do, and the reason I do arm work, of course, is because I'm dancing on the pole. And so I do a lot of pull-ups outside on my tree, and I do a lot of pull-ups on my bar, on my pole. But we also need that little intrinsic. Actually, let's do one more thing with these. Let's do the circles. So knees together, feet are turned in. So it's pigeon-toed and knock-kneed. Hands can be together, circling around your body. Inhale, open, and exhale. I woke up the pea pod. Inhale, open, exhale, close. Use your breath. Circling with the arms, really important. So like all of this stuff that we've been doing with the different facings of the hands is to encourage this relationship, the scapulohumeral rhythm, which is the relationship of your scapula to your humerus, that is your upper arm bone. Change direction, go the other way. Right, this is what we need for the density of the bones and the integrity of the ligaments, tendons, all that kind of stuff. We've got to be using a range of motion in our arms that is going to work for us, right? In our life, do we lift our arms over our head? Do we want to have the capacity to put something up on a high shelf or load our own suitcase over our heads in the airplane? All right, come into center. Yeah, and let's do one more here. Let's it's going to be kind of like a punch. So you're going to take your hands palm up. You're just going to punch out. Easy. Hello fascia, hello muscles, hello bones, hello heart, hello lungs, right? Because that whole system is coming out from our upper body where our heart and lungs are. Thymus is also up there. A bunch of other things. But I tend to focus mostly on the heart and lungs. This should be pretty easy. But I'm spiraling, right? Boom. Popping the hand out there. You can do an actual punch so that it is strong, direct, and quick. Boom. That is a punch in Laban, an effort punch, right? Right out in front of us. Now let's take it a little higher. Punch like over your head. So we're going up higher. We're asking a different relationship from the tissue in our body. You can do this, and I'm kind of crossing over. So before, when it was here, I was going straight into middle. Now I'm going a little bit across. I'm getting a little bit more action behind my shoulder blade, underneath my shoulder blade. There are muscles between your shoulder blade and your rib cage, and we want them to have movement. We don't want to lock them down. We don't want them overstabilized. Good. And then we're going to do one more set low. And let's actually come up and punch towards the knee, and I'm crossing. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I can't count and breathe like that at the same time. All right, get rid of your weights. Who knew you were going to do all that weight work on the floor today? So let's open wide and just do something really gentle. We're going to take the fingertips of the hand that's open, fold in, curl in through the wrist, through the elbow, reaching across the chest, reaching palm to palm. Knees are still pointed to the ceiling, but your hip can come off the floor. And then slowly spread yourself back across the mat like butter on toast. And then the other side. So you're melting into it. Fingertips, wrist, elbow, kinetic chain of movement. Then your fingertips uncurl as you reach across your chest, reaching palm to palm, and come back down. If you're fairly open and don't have a lot of tension in your neck and shoulders, your head will be able to stay on the floor. Or it also depends on how long your neck is, but fingertips, wrist, elbow, palm to palm. I'm trying to stay relaxed, keeping my head on the floor. It wasn't quite on the floor the first time. This time that side is on the floor. Same thing on the other side, fingertips, wrist, elbow, reaching. Really easy. This is really relaxed movement. This side, my head is coming off. And coming back. One more time each side. So it's like as relaxed, you're just pouring yourself across, letting go as much as you can, and then coming back gently, spreading across the mat. Same thing. So we could say if we were working in effort that maybe we want to be sort of lightweight, not really engaged and free flow in this, working towards lightweight and free flow. And then let's just internally and externally rotate our hands there. So we're feeling that relationship. And I'm also kind of pushing into the floor a little bit. So I'm getting a bit of a massage through my forearm. And then I'm going to just let my head go from side to side, taking in the world around me, letting my vision come in. Like I don't have to reach out for it. It can just come into me. I can see the tree, the cats. I got one on each side, the roof, the ceiling, and then coming back into center. And let's do a little more active. Let's take our hands over our head, toes touching the floor. You're going to exhale up, pulse it down with a sh sound. So it's going to go shh. Bend your knees, inhale the arms up, exhale, shh. Inhale. Here we are in the sagittal again. We hit that side, now we're sagittal. Inhale, open. Up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Let's flex out on this one. Flex, reach through your heels. Inhale. Exhale, push through the heels. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. Inhale. Exhale. And just come down into the floor. Relax. Heel rock. Try to soften your rib cage, lungs, and pelvis. So heel rock is a Bartenieff exercise. Didn't quite make it into the 6 fundamentals, but it's sort of like one of the pre-exercises to prepare yourself to do the Bartenieff fundamentals. Relax your neck and tongue. So from there, we'll do a pre-thigh lift. Pre-thigh lift. We'll just do a couple of thigh lifts, which is just letting your leg come up into space and dropping down. You can exhale and then let it really fall up, arcing through space. So it's like your knee is coming in towards you. You're not really trying to straighten out your leg. Up, down. It's like taking off. So my energy is kind of going down and out, letting it fall. Okay, we could do those for a very long time. And the idea is that you're not using every ab to lift your leg, but you're working a little deeper in with your psoas, and it should kind of feel like nothing is happening. And your psoas is very deep in your body. It's connecting into your spine, and it's also into your lesser trochanter, which is the top inner knob of your femur head. So femur, this bone, lesser trochanter, right here, this big knob is your greater trochanter. Lesser trochanters can be a little bit lower and obviously lesser, smaller. Let's press the pelvis up. So there's an exercise called forward pelvic shift in Laban, where you just kind of lift and you kind of activate your hamstrings and push forward, and it doesn't go up very high. Let's do a couple of those. So you're going to inhale, exhale. It's like a plane taking off. Little lift. And then you come back down. You should feel your hamstrings kind of fire up, but you're not really opening that much. It's not like a bridge in yoga. Just a couple more. And then the next one, just let yourself keep going up. So we're going to push up much higher, opening the front of the hip flexors. And then we're going to circle around, circling the pelvis. As you're circling the pelvis, feel the relationship between your pelvis, your ribs, and your head, and free it up. So don't try to stabilize and lock your body in here. Let it have some movement. Let your body decide how much it needs to move. And change direction. And if you're beating yourself up at all or saying, oh, I'm so tight, oh, that's not going to be helpful commentary on the inner dialogue. So maybe something like, I'm circling my hips. I'm opening up. I'm feeling the relationships inside my body. That would be a better commentary. Not to be judgmental, but if you're ripping yourself apart, or, oh, my ass is too fat, or, oh, I wish my thighs were skinnier, that's not really helpful. So try to let go of that conversation and be like, you're awesome, body. Thank you so much for being here on the planet with me. That's sort of like where I am. And yeah, in the ballet world, there is nothing right about your body unless you're like absolutely perfect. And even then, I'm sure you can think of 1,000 reasons why your body sucks. So coming out of that, like into being an actual person, like I never really had much of a problem with my body as an actual person. But as a ballet dancer, there were so many things wrong with it. Perhaps one reason I never had a very big career, and it forced me to do my own stuff. Circle your ankles, which I think actually was a much better life for me. Sometimes we think we want something, but then the reality of what that is not the greatest situation. And we're going to open wide and fold the whole thing in, rolling onto your side. And then open, open, open. Yeah, it's like be careful what you ask for, because once you get it, then you got to deal with it. Open it up. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. And I got to say, in the pole world, I don't know, it's a very body positive world. The version of the pole world that I live in, maybe not the competitive one, I don't know. But the studio that I go to, like, it is very all shapes, sizes, colors, and gender expressions are there. Bring it in and welcomed. And that is a really nice place to be. It's an amazing group of people. And I gotta say that also the partners of all the pole people are also pretty cool. All right, let's press up. And let's take our feet a little closer together, and we're going to do a little march here. So it's just going to be lifting one leg at a time. There's that thigh lift, and now our pelvis is raised. We are basically trying to stabilize our pelvis so that we're not dropping in, lifting this whole time, so we're pushing back of the body up. And we're going to change it again. This time we're going to come up, reach out, flex, point, fold it in. Press it up, reach, extend, flex, point, and fold. Up, out, flex, point, take it down. Up, out, flex, point, down, trying to keep the pelvis high, so back of the body working, lower, up, out, flex, point, lower, up, out, flex, point, lower, up, out, flex, point, lower. And let's roll it down all the way. Take a happy baby again. Wiggle around, roll around. I'm going to roll forward backward because my body needs that. But if you need to hang out in your baby, do that. Oh. And then let's do a contralateral thing here. I love this one. It's just, I feel like it's one of the best exercises that there is as far as like exercise is concerned. And that is just elbow to knee, reaching across, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Relax down. Take a big breath. Wiggle your torso. Shake up your guts. Jiggle like jello. Let your neck, tongue, and throat relax. Shake your arms out. Shake your butt. Let yourself sink into the floor. And we're going to do another set of that contralateral pattern a little bit faster. Going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Keep going. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 16, 18, 20. And relax. Free up your spine. Wiggle, soften, easy and loose. And then roll yourself back and forth to come up. We're going to do some side stuff. I feel like I've got like I'm not sure if it's Beavis or Butthead who has the hair that goes straight up, but I think it's Butthead. I think I've got that hair today. That's what happens when you go to sleep with, my hair wasn't actually wet, but with product in your hair and then you don't fix it in the morning. Like with the drought, I'm kind of not showering quite as much as I used to, which with COVID was already getting kind of more minimal. It wasn't the pre-COVID take a shower every day, every morning. It's more like, do I really need one? Am I going to see people? Maybe not. So pressing up, let's do arm circles on top. Inhale, open. Exhale, letting your ribcage, lungs, and heart move. Nice gradated rotation through your rotator cuff and change direction other way. Chest, lungs, and heart opening. Scapula, humerus, up clavicle, all in a nice relationship. And coming down, switching right away to the other side. Pressing it up. Circles. Oh, I watched that documentary on cats that's on Netflix. There's I'm not sure if they're Russian or if they're Ukrainian, so I don't want to say they're Russian or Ukrainian, but there's a couple of women that train these cats who do all these circus tricks, change direction, and they're they're awesome. They're super amazing. And then there's a guy, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but it's really funny. Come down. Let's sit in a straddle, and we're going to do a little more side work from the straddle. He's a Japanese guy who I feel like he's a cat psychologist. I could be wrong about this, but he does something with cats, and he goes, dogs think their owner is a god, and he says cats really think that they are the god. It's like, I'm sure you've all heard that before, but it's still funny. Take it down, elbow behind your knee if possible. Yeah, cats are very funny. And you really have to, in the movie they say, don't discipline cats. Don't yell at them, don't do mean things, don't because they don't understand it. You have to distract them and reward them for good behavior. Sideways, reach it out, bring it in, and come up. Sideways, reach it out, bring it in, and come up. Sideways, reach, in, up, sideways, reach, in, up, sideways, reach, in, up, sideways, reach, in, and come up. And then face your leg and take it down. And then walk through center, take it to the other side. Bring it into center. Let's arch and curl there. Arch and curl. Arch. Don't have to go forward. You can also lift from the back. So if you're on the tighter side, think of actively reaching through your legs, reaching through your torso, opening, and then soften and curl. This is really active out and away. And then in the softening and curling, it's like you're curling and rounding your whole body in. Inhale, arch, reach out. Exhale, soften in. Last one. Inhale, arch, reach and open. I'm actually pushing myself up off the floor. And exhale, hollow and curl. Taking it down further. Stretching a little bit more. If that feels good, you can bring your legs in. You could also put your feet together and do Badakanasana here if that feels better. So again, as I'm down here, I'm feeling the relationship between my pelvis, my ribs, and my head. Also my scapula and my ribs, right? The relationship of my scapula being able to move on my back. Just increasing the internal flow and the blood flow, right? So when our scapula move up and down, the muscles underneath are getting a little stretch. And we want that, right? We don't want to just have our shoulders locked down all the time where if they go up, we don't have the movement, right? We want to have the capacity for those shoulder blades to move around. All right, let's bring it in and just spiral across one side and then the other. And we are going to come into a plank. So you can do this you could do this from your knees if the plank is too much. What we're going to do, downward dog. If the downward dog is too much, you can come onto your knees. And you can do it either way. So if you're on your knees, you're just going to be going elbow to the floor. If you're in your downward dog, same thing. Elbow to the floor and push. If that's too much, just a little bend is fine. So working with whatever you got there. Elbows down and up. Could be there. Could be here. It could be a Whitman sampler, or rather a Godiva mixed chocolates where you do it all. One of my ballet teachers used to say a Whitman sampler, which many people probably don't know is a box of candy, not the most expensive candy in the world. Let's come to a downward dog. Right leg or left leg up as high as it can go. Stretch, push, and open. Reach your bottom heel to the floor, top leg up. Actively reaching into that back space. And release it down. Switch it to the other side. Open, open, open. Trying to keep your shoulders square to the floor, but your hip can open up. And release it down. First leg again, up to the ceiling. Bring your knee into your chest. Holding that. Just push the floor away. Hover. Breathe. And then push up, open, open, open. Cross it under to the other arm. We're just going to do this once on each side. So hang out. If you need to come out of it, come out of it. Inhale, open, outer shoulder. And inhale, reach it up. Switching it to the other side right away. Other leg as high as it can go. Open, open, open. Knee to your chest. Hang out. Reach it out and up. And cross it under. Hold it. Push the floor away. Try to feel even on both sides. Reach it out and up. And knee to your outer shoulder. And reach it out up into the back space and lower it down. Coming down. Let's go elbows and knees. Arch and curl. Cat-cow. letting the shoulder blades really move on the back. So the shoulder blades are kind of doing this as well. They're not just going up and down straight. There's like this internal external rotation, which, I can show you. I have a sports bra on, so I'm going to show you from this position. There, the bottom of my shoulder blades rotate out. The bottom of my shoulder blades rotate in. Bottom of my shoulder blades rotate out. Maybe you can see it this way. And then in. Yeah. So, I don't know if you can see it or not, but we want to have like really 3D movement in our shoulder blades that's going up, down, and side, side. Is it really going forward, backward into our bodies? In a small way, yes, but not in like a big lifting off of our shoulders. Although you really see some people's shoulder blades that really pop out, right? They have less muscle underneath that's connecting it. All right, let's take it into a opposite arm to leg. We're going to reach on the we're going to reach it, find the midline of your body, like you have a parallel line down one side, middle, other side. So we got these parallel lines. Take it off to the diagonal, bring it back in, lower down. Parallel, open it out, bring it in, come down, up, open, in, down, up, open, in, down, up, open, in, down, up, open, down, up, open, in, and down. Last one, up, and open, and in, and down. I just have to say, I'm laughing about something that's totally not happening right now. And that is one time I was teaching a class. Well, it was a dance class. It was the dance party, and my mom was there too. And and my hair was like a real mess. And I think I said, I don't know who I said. I think I said my hair looked like Trump, which I mean, not my favorite person, but it was like all ridiculous. And my mom's like, yeah, I was thinking my hair looked like Boris Johnson, like that fuzzy puff of hair. This is like I was just laughing at my mom's hair looking like Boris Johnson, who has had the grace to leave. Yay. Anyway, maybe that's good. Maybe that's bad. Who knows where you are politically? Let's come onto our sides. That was a long time ago too. Arch and curl. So my hip is on the floor. Arch and open, hollow and curl. Arch and open, hollow and curl. We just had early voting up here. Arch and open, hollow and curl. And then you can press up onto your side. Same thing, arch and hollow. Pelvis forward, pelvis back. If it feels better to stay low, stay low. And hollow and arch. And we're going to switch it to the other side. So Beavis, Butthead, Trump, Boris Johnson hair. None of these are a compliment. All right, hip is on the floor, arch and curl. Inhale, open, exhale. Inhale, open, exhale. Inhale, open, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Press your hips up if that feels okay. Arch and curl. One side may be very different than the other. Arch and curl. So I'm pressing my pelvis forward, arching my chest and lungs, and then coming back, rounding my spine a little bit. Open and close. Open and close. And last one. Open and close and relax. And so this idea of opening and closing, right? Opening, crossing midline. Like that idea we were talking about earlier, I was talking about earlier about being overactivated or underactivated. We could also talk about being overly open or overly closed, right? Like we might be a person who's always out, 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 and rarely in. Or we might be somebody who's I'm in, and very rarely out. So these are just balances that we want to think about. And we can find them in our bodies like, oh, it feels really good to be here today. Or it feels really good to be here today. And it's not a good or bad. It's just two different things. So sometimes we need much more coming into ourselves. I think particularly I don't think that as a culture, people in my culture, Western culture, have very good awareness of when is it too much going out and when is too much coming in, right? And that could actually be happening at the same time. My energy is going out, I'm taking in everybody's crap, right? That is one way of being in the world. And then there's people that are just like closed off. And I think I learned this actually from Peggy Hackney, who's a CMA. So there's an idea of being like permeable in two directions. Things can go out and things can come in. Permeable only in one direction. I'm only putting things out, which sometimes when you're teaching, that's a kind of appropriate direction where you don't allow people to get in because you have to continue teaching. Then there's permeable where you're only letting things in, but nothing's going out. And then there's just shut where nothing's coming in and nothing's going out. So you can think about that as, in terms like of how your energy is doing on any given day. Or do I need to, create a barrier so that this person can't get in a little bit? Or like, and it can be just with your attention, right? No, not going to notice that. I am not paying attention to you. You can do your stuff. So we can have a lot more awareness around how we are in the world and responding to the world when we start to think about what's going on here. Is there a permeability going both ways that feels good or feels bad? So none of this is a judgment of one is good or one is bad. Just at different times, we need different tools. Yeah. And when we can start to think about that, we have a model for it. Then it's like, oh, I see. I'm letting too much of that in. And like, can I put a boundary up? Can I create an edge for myself that is healthy, right? Healthy boundaries. Like, you know what? That's really not my problem. You keep that over there. Or, wow, I really need to take that in and take that on. So just thinking about that, let's get onto our bellies really quickly. Do a little bit of back work. Bend one knee, grab your ankle, heel into your butt, stretching your quad. And then lift the whole thing up. Opposite arm to leg, reaching out and up. And release it down. Switch it to the other side. And some people say, well, that's just how I am. And nobody is just one way. Everybody has capacities to be different ways. Reach it out and up. Unless they are so encased in amber, like a fly in amber, nothing changes. But the world around you is going to change. So there will always be change. And release, arch up, open, open, open. Take it back into a child's pose. Breathe, surrender, let go. And at different times of life, like different ways of being are going to be more appropriate. Yeah. If you are running a big company and you take everybody in too much, you may have a hard time in the current culture, right? In the way that things are. Like a lot of the more alpha types are really good at not having any compassion for other people. That is often a thing that happens when people are in those, unless you're like a Mother Teresa or Gandhi. Lots of compassion, right? Lots of awareness around other people. Let's cross one leg over and take it forward. And these ideas that I'm saying, it's not like I made these up. These come from other people. I think Ken Wilber is one. He talks about it in his all quadrants, levels, and lines, AQUAL, his sort of model of looking at people and development. Come up, take that knee, cross it over. And release. Undo it. Other leg, crossing over. Inhale, up, take it forward and down. And then come up, foot on the floor, spiral. Still waiting for the rain. And come back in. Bang it out. Rotate in and out. Let's slide our heels underneath. Come to a standing forward fold. If your hamstrings are really tight, just bend your knees a little bit. If your hamstrings are pretty open, let yourself hang. And you're going to shift your weight slightly forward and slightly backwards. Slowly shifting your weight so you can feel where where the stretch is. When my weight shifts, it changes the location of the stretch in my hamstrings and back. And then bend and straighten your knees a few times. Parallel legs, ankles, knees, hips all lined up nicely. And then let's do the no and the yes. And then bend and roll it all the way up, coming all the way up to the top. And we're going to inhale, open, stretch out and up. Exhale, easy light shake. If I said anything offensive, shake it off. Inhale, open. And exhale, shake it out, shake it out, shake it out. If you've got some idea about yourself that isn't serving you, shake it out, let it go. Inhale, open. If you've got an idea about other people that isn't serving, shake that out, let that go. We don't know everything. Inhale, open, and exhale, shake, shake, shake. And everybody has a different point of view. And if you're feeling kind of stuck in your life, just look from a different perspective, right? Get down on the ground. Like, I feel like for me, whenever things are like they've gone off the rails a little bit, and I'm kind of like, what the hell is going on? Which does happen. I just get down on the floor, and that changes my perspective enough to be able to become a person. So I see I actually have a person watching. So nice to see you. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, all the things. And I am going to end this.